Hello again. In the next 25 minutes, we will map a small-scale project with Inge and Valentine, who are on the set with me. Hi, Inge and Valentine.
Hello.
Hi, Perrine.
So Inge, you are our current head of unit for projects at the Joint Secretariat of the program, and Valentine, you are one of the two contact points for France. Welcome again. Inge, I'm going to start with you. What are the specific features of a small-scale project?
Yes. So, good afternoon, everyone. As already said by Alexander, we have regular projects and small-scale projects, and the main difference is when it comes to the procedure of the submission of a proposal, that a small-scale project goes in one step. It means that you immediately, you hand in your full application form, so you do not first submit a concept note, as would be the case with regular projects. You go immediately for a full proposal. But as we said, we speak about small-scale projects. Also, the application form that needs to be filled in is it's less complicated, it's shorter, it's easier in order to help organizations to apply for a small-scale project. Another difference, which was already addressed also by Alexander, relates to the duration of a project. While regular projects don't have a specific duration that is indicated by the terms of reference, however, most of them last between 3 and 5 years. That's to our experience, what we have with regular projects. Small-scale projects, they can last a maximum of 18 months. 18 months, it means between the date of approval and the date of handing in the final report of the project. So at the end, it's not really 18 months of implementation, it's a bit shorter. When we speak about the partnership, as also was already mentioned before, you need to be at least 3 partners from 3 different countries, of which 2 have to come from the Northwest European area. Here there is no real difference with regular projects, although as regular projects are bigger, they last longer, they have a bit bigger budget. Usually they will have a bigger partnership with more organizations than a small-scale project. But formally there is no difference when it comes to the partnership composition.
All right, Inge, we also have some differences when it comes to financial matters.
Yes, indeed. This was also already mentioned before. Small-scale projects should have a maximum budget of 800,000 euro. Of this 800, so between 200,000 and 800,000 euro. And of this, a maximum of 60% can be co-funded by the ERDF. Which means that projects have to come up with 40% of match funding. When we speak about how a budget should be set up, also here we try to make things as easy as possible for small-scale projects. It means that the only thing that really needs to be addressed is the costs for the staff, so staff members of the organization. So a brief description will need to be provided for the staff involved in the project. And then on top of that, when you have quantified the amount that is required for your staff cost, automatically a 40% flat rate is added to that to cover all the other costs that a project might have, like equipment, travel and accommodation, external expertise, just to give some examples. On top of that, for successful projects that get funded, they will also get reimbursement for the preparation, the effort that they made for the preparation of their application. So that means that 6,000 euros, is recognized, of which 60% will be paid out to the project, which is 3,600 euro. That is paid out on top of the cost of the budget of the project.
And last but not least, expectations during the lifetime of a project are particular for a small-scale project.
Yes, so small-scale projects are small, should be focused, are short, so they should focus only on one specific objective. So they will have one work package instead of up to 3 like for regular projects. The work package will be articulated in a number of activities, which will each have a number of deliverables, and they will all contribute to one type of to one type of project output that can be either joint strategies and action plans, or pilot actions that will lead to solutions, or capacity building and awareness raising activities that will mainly address trainings and training activities, while all of them will anyway contribute to the number of organizations that benefit from transnational cooperation, and then linked to each of these specific outputs, there will be one result that will need to be described as well.
All right, Inge, so you've just explained why and how an application for a call for small-scale projects is easier and simpler than an application for regular call. Now, if you apply, you want to be successful, right? So turning to you, Valentine, what are the ingredients for success?
So probably you have noticed from now that we are here in Interreg Northwest Europe in a transnational program. So my first advice would be to have a transnational issue addressed in your project. It means no national, regional, or local issues. A second keyword is cooperation. This is the case for every Interreg program, and Northwest Europe is no exception. So here as well, when you write your application form, I will strongly advise you to know and to be able to explain why transnational cooperation is needed. But is that enough to have a successful application? No. You need to contribute to Interreg Northwest Europe objectives, so the program objectives. Alexandre explained it very well. We have in our program 5 priorities and different specific objectives. You have to choose one of them, one specific objective, and then you will have to define your project objective accordingly. So your project objective has to be well defined, but it also has to be achievable, realistic, as well as your outputs and results. So achievable, realistic, and also quantified. I'm coming back to that point in a minute.
All right, Valentine, is there anything our applicants should avoid?
Very good question, Perrine. Thank you for asking. Yes, I would say do not reinvent the wheel. You are certainly clever people that have original ideas, original solutions to suggest, but you're also probably not the first ones to think about how to solve the issue that you want to address. So please make sure when you write your application form that you build on existing works, projects, experiences, knowledge. We are also asking, of course, to be a bit innovative, but that doesn't mean that you have to be radically innovative. You can come with new solutions, but you can also try to take some existing solutions, so build on previous work. For example, I would say some solutions that exist in Germany that have started to be developed there, and then try to implement them in pilot sites in France, in the Netherlands, for example, and to develop and to do it jointly, of course. This is very important. So in a cooperative way. And speaking about cooperation, you have, when you say cooperation, you think about a partnership, right? So how do you build your partnership here as well? As Inge already explained it a bit, you have to have a very focused partnership. So make sure that everyone that is on board is here for a reason, has a specific role that you have well defined, and make sure that everyone has specific contributions, so specific competencies that will help you reach your project objective. In other words, especially for this call, I would say have a very focused partnership, because you do not have a limitation in terms of partnership, so partnership size is unlimited, but of course, as Inge explained, you have a budget limitation, you have a time limitation, time restriction. So take this into account when you build your partnership. And last but not least, last advice would be to have a strong intervention logic. So you have a transnational issue, Northwest Europe needs, that is addressed. Then you have a project objective that is achievable, realistic, well-defined, and then you will have outputs, results that are as well achievable, realistic, and well-defined. And then I would really encourage you to think about tangible changes that you want to see. Why do you need to do this project? What sort of social impact do you want to see? And also bear in mind that your results at the end of the project are not going to vanish somewhere in the air, but that you need to think already about long-term effects. And speaking about outputs, results, I'm not going into too much detail here because I would also recommend you to read the program manual. I insist on that point. And you will find some more information, some more detail in Annex 1 of our program manual. But just a few words on that. So if you go for joint strategies and action plans as an output, then your results are the results that the program expects you to reach are those strategies and action plans that will be taken up by organizations. If you go for pilot actions leading to solutions, again, these solutions taken up or scaled by organizations. And if you go for joint training schemes, the training completed by participants. And somehow these results are going to lead to organizations with increased capacity, institutional capacity. So here as well, you will have to identify these organizations and to quantify them. Very last advice would be to read the program manual. I strongly encourage you, we never say it enough, to read the program manual and to reach your national contact points. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Valentine. I'm going to add two other key takeaways from what you have just told our participants. So you make sure your project's objectives and results are in line with program's expectations and put transnational cooperation at the heart of your project. It's essential for Interreg Northwest Europe. All right, it is time for questions. Rebecca, do we have any reactions?
Yeah, we have a lot of reaction coming in, a lot of interesting questions. First question, can organizations with volunteer staff participate in the program?
I think, Inge, you're going to take this question, right?
Yes, yes. Organizations that work mainly with volunteers can participate as partner organizations in the project, but they must keep in mind that in order to be able to claim costs, that they must have staff members that are working on the project. Because volunteers, they are volunteers, you cannot claim costs for them, so you cannot get any funding for the project because, as I explained before, what comes on top of the funding besides the staff costs is calculated as a flat rate of the staff costs. So yes, they can participate if they have staff working on the project.
Great. Next question. Is there a way for UK bodies to be a partner in the project?
I can take this one. Yes, there is a way, but you will not get funding if you're a UK participant. You can only be associated partner for this call.
Can you do a pilot in a small-scale project, and are investments allowed?
No, we have no investments in small-scale projects. You can do pilots, certain types of pilots, but not pilots that involve investments. When we speak about investments, we mainly speak about infrastructure and works. So that lead to something, for example, to a small building or another infrastructure. So yes and no. So pilots, yes, but investments, no.
Okay, next question. Is there a maximum number of partners?
No, there is no maximum number of partners, but you must keep in mind that your partnership must be in line with what you want to realize in the framework of your project. So No maximum number, but it must be in line. Yeah, so it must be coherent, both as the types of organizations that you take on board, and also the regions or the countries they belong to.
Does Ireland get direct funding from Interreg?
Yes, indeed.
Clear. Another one. Can the topic be the same from a call to application?
I would say yes, but as we are speaking about small-scale projects, the intervention logic will be completely different. So it will also be addressed in another way, maybe by other organizations on another scale. So yes, it can be the same topic.
Okay. Some more questions. When you say build on existing solutions, does this mean it must be your organization's solution or building on an existing NWE project?
It's either an NWE project, but it can be a European project, it can be a national project. Every knowledge that exists on your topic, every project that exists on your topic. So, yeah.
Great. Some more questions. Are there still calls for regular projects in Interreg?
Yes, we are just at the beginning. We just had 2 regular calls, and for sure a couple of regular calls are still coming.
Yes, so just a reminder, the call for small-scale projects, it is call number 3, and we'll have call number 4 by the end of the year, regular projects.
Exactly.
But an applicant can apply to both.
Yes.
All right, more questions, Rebecca.
Okay. What is the difference between a project partner and an associated partner related to funding?
An associated partner doesn't have any ERDF funding, whereas a partner does.
Yes, and on top of that, an associated partner can come from any country, I would say theoretically from the world, but of course it has to make sense for the project. So there is no geographical limit to associated partners. They do not get any budget, but their travel and accommodation costs can be covered by the partner, by any of the partners of the partnership.
Another question, will there be any assistance during the submission phase from a Lille-based project official, like in the large projects? So will projects be getting support from the Secretariat or the contact points?
Yes,
Yes,
they do.
they will. This is what I say. You have to reach your contact point. Please use your national contact points. We're here to help you and to help you get through the successful application.
Yes, and contact points can give tailored advice, right, to our project applicants, and they're reachable via email, via phone, and I think Helen in just a few minutes will give you more information on how to reach out to them. Rebecca, do we have any more questions?
Yeah, we have one last question for the moment. Are public bodies other than authorities eligible?
Yes, all public bodies are eligible for participating in projects. And I want to add something about that. Like, for example, national bodies that are not based in any of the eligible regions, like, for example, in Germany, I can imagine that national bodies could be based in Berlin, while Berlin is not part of the Northwest European area. They can participate in the project without any problem, as long as they specify the reason why they are participating in a project. So there is no limit to that.
We still have time for one more question if we have any more, or are participants running out of idea for questions because Inge and Valentine have covered everything? Rebecca.
Yeah, we have a question here, a new question. Any tips on how to find the right partners?
Join our online community. You will find lots of other organizations.
Yes.
And if not, ask your contact points.
Exactly.
They have a lot of information as well.
You can submit your project ideas on the community, also see what other applicants are thinking about, maybe mutualizing forces if it's relevant, and you can contact a certain number of organizations to find partners for your project. So yeah, go online, it's on our website, there's a link to the community, and it's going to be very useful, for sure. Thank you very much, Inge and Valentine. So we have covered the why a call for small-scale project, what the specific features of the call are, And after the video, we will go into the how and navigate the application process with Helen.